Ever since the Supreme Court order on Novartis' drug, the pharma companies in the USA, that this will slow down introduction of drugs in India and also slow down research and development, is over to Namrata now for the very latest.
Here in the United States, at the heart of the big pharma lobby, India's ruling on Novartis has sparked tremendous amount of criticism. Will India's foreign direct investment in pharmaceuticals come down? Maybe. Will India not get access to cutting-edge, new and innovative drugs? Maybe. But one thing's for certain, the opinion that I'm hearing is that if India has decided to protect the interests of its generic manufacturers, then the United States will certainly protect its own turf, which means that things on the global landscape certainly got a whole lot tougher for Indian generic manufacturers.
The ruling from the Supreme Court really shows that it doesn't understand the basic concept of pharmaceutical innovation, and the ruling really is that India doesn't want innovation. Relative to the activists, they may say that this is a pro-access ruling, but really it's exactly the opposite. This ruling is going to keep innovation out of India. At the end of the day, right now, as we speak, Gleevec is provided for free to about 99% of all the people that use it in India. So it really isn't a question of price, or access. It's a question of innovation. And unless you recognize the importance of patents, unless you reward an innovation through a patent, even an incremental innovation, companies aren't going to invest in changes. For example, the patent that the Supreme Court of India declined was a beta crystal reformulation that actually makes the product more stable. It makes it safer to use. So clearly the court doesn't understand the basic premise of the innovation that it ruled on. But writ large, it's not about patents and it's not about price, because of the 400 essential drugs on the WHO's list, they're almost all off patent, or they've never been patented, which means that they're available for generic manufacture, and they're not available right now to the masses in India. It really is certainly in India a question of infrastructure as much as anything else. So punishing a company by taking away a patent or by denying a patent doesn't solve the problem, it makes it worse.
From the pharmaceutical company's point of view, they invest a lot in the R&D, and on the one hand you can see the humanitarian side, and you can argue that patients deserve access to medications, but when someone who is, or a company that's a for-profit company has actually made the investments, they need to be given the ability to recoup those investments and make a profit. And I think that this decision is definitely going to cause companies to reconsider whether they want to enter the Indian market with innovative or expensive drugs, because the truth of the matter is that these are unlikely to be paid for in India, or the patents are unlikely to be recognized. And just a side point from that, a few years ago we've seen companies invest, like Abbott invest in Piramal, etc. My personal view is that the reason for the investment was not so much to get into the generic market in India, which is a commodity business, but really to have an infrastructure for when companies like Abbott were ready to bring in patented drugs. Again, if the patents are not going to be upheld and recognized, then the whole question around whether India is an attractive market needs to be asked. And we've seen this, in the past, things were going to change because of the TRIPS agreement, but so far it's not changing, especially when you see rulings like this.